I know you had a a tough training camp with Caleb Plant.
Yeah, man, hard, long camp.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't get you before that Benavidez fight, but I understand that was a tough training camp going into this big fight.
Yeah, it was a hard camp, man. It's hard. Sometimes when I get close to the fight, I try to keep the interviews to a minimum.
It's all good. You had to get prepared for war, and we saw war.
You know, I still haven't seen the fight again.
Oh, really?
Nope, I haven't seen the fight.
Um,
I heard it was a great fight, but when you're involved in it in the corner, you don't really know how good it is. But I heard it was a great fight.
it's one of the fight of the year candidates on my list. So,
Oh wow, that's good. Well, if you can't win the fight, at least you can win an award.
but I'm sure you've heard a lot of talk about this fight, a lot of comments being said.
Yeah, I have, but I don't really. Everybody got something to say, man. So I really don't. I really don't get too much in the comments and stuff like that. But I've heard good stuff and bad stuff.
Yes, a lot of talk still going on about this fight between Benavidez and Plant. Um, I'm just glad that you guys were able to make peace at the end of this fight.
Well, I never had beef. I never had no beef. That was dumb. You know what I mean? That was like Team Benavidez seemed a little bit upset, but I never had no problems with them. I always said that David was a hell of a fighter, you know, and I never had no problems with his dad. So people say make peace, but you can only make peace if you at war. I wasn't at war with nobody. You know what I mean? It was a boxing match to me, and at the end of it, it was still a boxing match. I don't get into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I remember you telling me before this fight that Plant was locked in, and he sure looked ready.
I'm very proud of him, man. That was a hard fight. Benavidez is a great fighter. He's probably a top pound for pound fighter. And, I thought we took him to the wire, man. I thought it was maybe 1 point. I definitely don't think the fight was 117, 111. I don't even think David thought that. Uh, but tough fight, played it. Caleb did what he did. He fought a good fight. Came up just short, but it's part of the game. You take them kind of fights, then you know, you're gonna have some. You might not have a perfect record.
Were you surprised how well Caleb Plant did throughout the fight, like especially in the first half of this fight?
No, I wasn't surprised. I was going in the fight to win the fight. I definitely wasn't surprised.
I remember hearing comments before this fight that it was going to be early knockout.
Uh, well, yeah, you can see that they're pretty closely matched. So it would have been tough for David. It took David a few rounds to just get used to how good Caleb boxed. So I wasn't worried about those comments. Everybody say what they're gonna do, but it's something different to have to go in there and do it. But I was more concerned about David in the later round than I was in the earlier rounds.
Caleb Plant once again showed a big heart, going 12 hard rounds with Benavidez.
Yeah, I mean, to get to this level, you gotta have a lot of stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like you can't just you can't he does have heart, he does have a lot of skills, And like I said, it was a good fight. I would like to see it again when I get some time, but I haven't ever had a chance to watch it yet.
What do you say to those that once in a while I hear say skills pay the bills? I don't agree with that comment just because Caleb Plant doesn't just have skills. He has the balls and the big heart. He showed it.
Um, I don't mind that comment. Skills do pay the bills, but there's a lot that goes into a boxing match, man. You gotta have a lot of things. You gotta have skills. You gotta have the uh the heart to apply them. You gotta have you know, determination. You gotta have dedication. You gotta have instincts. David has real good instincts to be a come forward fighter. He's very instinctive. He does a lot of cute stuff. You gotta have a lot of things. Sometimes the people that give out the compliments or the critics, they don't really understand everything that they're looking at. You know what I mean? But it takes a lot to be on this level. And both guys, they showed their whole bag of tricks.
I want to hear what was said after this fight between both camps.
Um, I I can't really tell you everything because there's a lot going on. I just know that Caleb and David, they both kind of apologized and hugged, and then the dad apologized and hugged, and you know me and Jose, we just talked. We both said it was a great fight. And I told him how good of a fighter his son was, and he told me how good of a fighter Caleb was, how he respected us. And I told him, David kept me up at night, and he said same here. And David, pretty much he just was like, coach, I didn't mean all that stuff that I was saying. And I was like, it's all good, man. You're a great fighter. You don't gotta apologize. It's part of the game. And that was really it. I can't remember everything. It's a lot of emotions going into those nights, man, and everything is moving kind of fast. So it's really hard to remember everything. But it was just, like I said, I'm always the same way. I don't really be having no beefs and stuff like that. It take a lot for me to take something like this personal. So I really don't be getting into that kind of stuff. That stuff was going on way before I started training Caleb.
Yeah, like I said, once again, I'm just glad that you guys made peace because there's been some fights in the past. Like I can remember when De La Hoya fought Mayorga. I don't know if those guys made peace, but that was personal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, part of the game. Sometimes you shake hands, but when you fight like that, man, you earn another man's respect when y'all go against each other like that. You know what I mean? I think that they had an impression of Caleb that he might have been a little soft or something like that, but he earned their respect, and when you earn somebody's respect, you can't do nothing but shake their hand, give it all you got, and you move on. That's just that.
Um, there's some tough questions going on. Uh, I hear a lot of comments about Team Plant, and I wrote some of these questions due to the comments that I've been hearing. So I just thought I'd ask you some of these questions in regards to your team, with some saying that this fight should have been stopped. What do you say
Um,
to those?
I mean, that's their opinion, you know. Everybody have an opinion. If I would have stopped the fight, people would have said I shouldn't have stopped it. If I didn't stop the fight, they say I should. So I don't really, somebody's opinion don't bother me, man. You gotta, I made an instinctive call and I didn't stop the fight, and he lasted the distance. So, and he's happy I didn't stop the fight. His wife and his dad happy I didn't stop the fight, and that's just that. Like, so, I you know, that's people's opinion. Like, and ain't nothing I can say about that. Like, I'm not mad at it, you know, because I thought about stopping the fight, but my instinct just told me that he was going to be able to make it, and I thought David was getting a little tired too. So I said, all right, let's not, you know, let's keep it going and see what happens.
Plant did show a lot of heart, and I'm sure you're proud of him. I'm proud of him. There's a lot of guys that are proud of him, you know, because he showed the heart. And, you know, there were critics before this fight, and we spoke about this in the past, where there was a lot of guys that were talking bad about Plant, saying that he had got stopped against Canelo, and then look at this fight here. He was able to go 12 rounds with a killer like Benavidez.
Well, you know, that's the one thing about sports, you know, yeah, um, everything is on a fight by fight or game by game basis. One minute they call you a punk, and then the next minute they praise you for having a heart, you know. But honestly, Caleb deserved to finish that fight on his feet, and he never went down. And, you know, as much as they respected each other after the fight, you know, Caleb did, and, you know, he wanted to, you know, finish the fight on his feet. It was important to him. And he showed me the things that I needed to see for him to keep going. He didn't want to be stopped like that. And, you know, so now the same people that say he didn't have no heart say he do have heart. That's how boxing works. That's why I never get into that kind of stuff. That's why I never, ever, ever, ever like let compliments or criticism get me too high or too low. Because you know, Caleb know what he is, and he proved it a couple weekends ago. And that's just that. You can't let these people ruin your self-esteem.
You certainly can. And I'm glad you guys have that confidence. I'm proud of you guys. Now, Plant, from what I heard, ended up in the hospital. He came out of the hospital.
He had stitches. People keep forgetting that. He got a bad headbutt, so he had to get like a cut right in the middle of his head. So he had stitches, and you know he had some like some big knots right on the back of his head. So that's all that was. That wasn't no big deal.
So where does Caleb Plant go from here?
I don't know, man. I'm not the promoter. I'm not his manager. So I suppose maybe a comeback fight and then another big fight.
Going back to this fight, there was a lot of comments towards Plant's strategy. The strategy seemed to work, but there was a lot of boxing fans that were saying there was too much holding, including Benavidez, including his team, saying that there was too much holding. Do you think that was the right strategy, or do you think that perhaps that tired out Caleb Plant? It tired him out in a way.
Holding them wasn't the strategy. Holding them was a tactic that you use when you tired or you hurt. It's a difference. So holding was something that he did. You know, he got hit with a good shot. He got hurt, so he held. That's what you're supposed to do when you get hurt. So it really wasn't a strategy. He wasn't holding in the first 6 rounds. He was outboxing them, you know. But David hit him with a good shot, and he hurt him. So he held a little bit, and so that wasn't the strategy. You just do what you have to do to get through to the next point of the fight. You know, the people that want to see, that keep talking about the holding, they wanted to see him get knocked out because it was low blows. It was shots in the back of the head. It was elbows. It was, listen, Caleb was hitting him with some low blows too. It was a hard, rough fight, and he had bad blood. The holding or the clinching, that was just one thing. It's so weird. Caleb got literally knots on the back of his head. I'm talking about like this big from punches in the back of the head. Caleb had, he got hit low, got elbowed in his throat, couldn't breathe for a second. It's part of boxing. So if they talking about that, what would you rather, be held or get elbowed in your throat or hit in your private parts or punched in the back of your head? I mean, which one is worse? So it's funny to me that that's what they're talking about. It's just stupid. You know what I mean? Of course, him holding wasn't the strategy. It was the right tactic. He didn't get stopped. So, I mean, I don't understand. If you get hurt, that's what you're supposed to do. Had he tried to fight and punch while he was buzzed, David would have knocked him out. Then everybody would have said, well, how come he didn't clinch? That's what they would have said. How come he didn't learn how to hold? But then he held. It's like, well, that's too much. So you can't please everybody. So I'm proud of him for getting through that moment. Because let's remember, when Canelo hurt him, he didn't clinch well, and he got stopped. So I'm proud of him for getting through that moment.
It's a good point you brought up, especially with the Canelo fight. Because I think that if Caleb Plant would have held on to Canelo, he would have most likely gone to the last round, to the scorecard.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know, man. That's why I try not to listen to the comments and read what people say and all that kind of stuff, because it's just, I don't know what he's supposed to do. People ask me, why did he hold? He held because he got hurt. That's why he held. I mean, what you want me to say? He got hurt. David can punch. He hit him with a good shot, so he held. What are you supposed to do? Let him knock him out? It's part of the game. Listen to this. I don't got nothing bad to say about David Benavidez. I think he is a great fighter, and I've always said that. He got to learn how to break out of the clinch. He got to learn how to not get held. I mean, it's part of boxing. You know what I mean? So, whatever. People can always say what they want. I'm glad Caleb held so he could get himself together. And then you move on. So you keep from getting your head knocked off. You get hit with the right punch, anybody will hold. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. You get hit with the right shot, you'll hold.
That reminds me of a fight that I was upset with when Felix Trinidad fought Bernard Hopkins, and how Bernard Hopkins roughed up Tito, and Tito couldn't do nothing. And I was confused, and I was upset, and I was thinking, why isn't Tito doing his fight?
Because Bernard Hopkins neutralized him, and that wear you out. People keep talking about Caleb getting tired. David got tired. David got tired too, because he had to fight through them clinches. Bernard Hopkins is a master at that. So he wore Tito out. He would hit him, and then he would grab him. Hit him, and then he would grab him. But when Bernard do it, everybody call it cagey or smart. And then now Caleb do it, they're like, why you hold so much? You know why he's saying that. You know why he's saying that. Because you wanted David to knock Caleb out, and you wanted to see, or you bet on a knockout or something. So you can't please everybody, man. But Bernard is a master at that. He'll hit you stabbing grab. He hits you with a shot, and boom, run you right into a clinch, and then you try to fight out of the clinch, and your body's fatigued, and you just do it all over again. That's part of boxing.
It's experience.
Caleb gained experience from the Canelo fight. You know, he gained experience from this fight. He gained experience from learning how to do certain things.
Now, going into this fight, we spoke about Canelo, a rematch with Canelo. We don't know what's going to happen in the future with Caleb Plant, but we can also see Caleb Plant against perhaps Charlo, Boo Boo, or who knows, David Morrell. What do you think?
I think all of those fights are possible. I really don't, like I said, I don't make his fights, I'm not his manager, so I don't really have no say in all of that. But I think all of those fights is possible, We just got to just see. It kind of depends on what schedule everybody's on. It kind of depends on what David is going to do next, what Canelo's going to do next, to see who's on whose schedule. And then you see what's up. We'll kind of know which direction Caleb is going to go in when we see what direction David is going to go in. Because the thing is, you can only fight one fight at a time. So if David chooses to fight somebody, then somebody else will be available. Canelo chooses to fight somebody else will be available. So we just got to see.
The one question everyone keeps asking is, what was going on? What was wrong with Kenny Bayless?
I don't know. He's been around a long time, and it was a hard fight. You know what I mean? And there was a lot going on. Like I said, they keep talking about the holding, but it was a lot more than holding. But I never complained because I knew it was going to be a hard fight. They got bad blood. So you had low blows, you had back of the head shots, you had holding, you had elbows, you had a vicious headbutt that split my guy's face open. There's a lot that was going on. I never said nothing. So it's just like, when I said I didn't say nothing, I never criticized Kenny Bayless because it's like, which you guys want him to do? Like, disqualify somebody in a big fight like that? Like, it was a lot of stuff going on. So my guy, he held, but it was a lot more going on than the holding. I think Kenny Bayless was maybe a little bit overwhelmed, but he did, he did the job that he did. It was a lot going on in there, and it was a rough fight. Both guys was fighting rough. Both guys was, you know what I mean? So it wasn't just the holding. There was a lot of things going on in that fight. That fight had a lot at stake, so they was fighting hard.
It's tough to be a ref. I've spoken to a lot of refs in the past, and it's not an easy job. Definitely not an easy job.
Yeah, referees got a hard job. So do judges.
Since we mentioned Canelo's name, he has an upcoming fight against Ryder. How do you see that fight playing out, and what do you know about Ryder?
Ryder's a good fighter. He's the one that beat Danny Jacobs, right? He's coming into his own. He's a good fighter. I expect Canelo to win, though.
Do you think we'll see Canelo versus Benavidez?
Well, that'll be up to Canelo. I'm sure Benavidez wants it. Who wouldn't want that payday? But that'll be up to Canelo, man. People don't want to fight young guys in their 20s like that. You know what I mean? So that'll be up to him.
And that's why I respect Caleb Plant, because Caleb Plant took, he got in there.
That's a tough fight, man. I'm telling you, that's a hard fight. That kid's 26 years old. Don't have no wear and tear on him. He's the biggest super middleweight I ever seen. That's a tough fight. You know what I mean? So let's see if Canelo get in there. I don't know if we got to see. I'm not saying he's not, but let's just see if he's willing to fight him.
I want to get your thoughts on Chris Colbert and Rayo Valenzuela, since everyone keeps talking about the scorecards.
You know what, man? I really don't want to speak on those scorecards and fights that I don't have nothing to do with. You know, that's they fight, and I just rather not comment on that. You know what I mean? I didn't like the scorecards of our fight. I didn't like 117, 111 in that fight because I thought Caleb had a case for winning 5 or 6 rounds in the fight. But you got to live with the scorecard. But there's no way he only won 3 rounds. So I didn't like that scorecard. But I don't want to. That's not my fight. That's up to those kids' team to talk about that. I don't want to get in the middle of nothing like that.
I respect that. We got a big fight with Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tank Davis is the favorite, but how do you see this fight playing out?
Great fight. Probably end in a knockout. Lots of excitement. Great fight. That's all I could say. I think it's going to be a great fight. Great fight.
Obviously, Tank Davis is a KO artist, but we know that Ryan Garcia can punch. My question is, do you think Ryan Garcia can hurt Tank Davis if he were to catch him?
Yeah, anybody could be hurt. Anybody could be hurt, man. You know, sometimes y'all guys in the media say stuff like, you know, like these guys are not human beings. They human beings. Anybody could be hurt, man. If Tank get hit right, he could be hurt. Hell yeah. Did you see him talking about his defense? That he don't want to get hit with that stuff? Anybody can be hurt on any given day, man. Anybody can be hurt. No matter what your attitude or what people say, you can be hurt if you get hit right. So people, it's funny. People say Caleb can't punch. You ask David, can Caleb punch? All punches hurt. They do. There's a reason why David took a little while to go in there. Because you got to be careful, man, with getting hit with them small gloves on, man. You could be hurt. Everybody don't punch the same, but punches hurt, man. Sure, Ryan could hurt him if he hit him right.
AJ versus Franklin. What were your thoughts?
I just wish that AJ just, you know, he doesn't seem to have the same confidence he used to have, man. You know, that's one of the reasons why I respect Caleb so much. It's because Caleb got stopped by Canelo, but he came back with the same fire. AJ don't have the same fire. Everybody is different, you know, and just everybody is different, man. You know, you get hit with certain shots, and some people could take that and they don't, you know, they willing to go back into that fire, but some people just can't. And it seemed like AJ, you know, he don't have the same fire that he used to, man. And boxing is a game of inches. One little thing get taken from your game, and you might not be the same no more. And it's a shame, man, because he's a talented fighter, but he just don't seem to have the same confidence, man. And confidence is a lot in boxing, man. I mean, it's pretty much everything. Like, you know, one thing about Caleb, nobody kill his swag. That dude still talking shit and dancing and, you know, feeling himself and like whatever. You know, he didn't let nobody kill his self-esteem. You know, you could say it, but your energy and the way you act, that shows it. And I think that it's still some residual effect of AJ getting hurt by Klitschko and knocked out by Ruiz.
Or do you think it's what Hagler said one time? When you got all that money, it's hard to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I think he trains hard. But I just think that, see, here's the thing about boxing. When you lose at the top level, right, you got to be a hell of a fighter, because when you lose at the top level, all the other coaches and all the other fighters get to study how you lost. So everybody fights you harder now. So before, where guys didn't have any hope and you beat them up, they take a knee or allow you to knock them out. Now everybody's fighting you hard. So AJ is feeling everybody fighting hard. He's getting everybody's best shot. These guys are saying, you know what? Andy Ruiz ain't nothing but this big, and he was able to do that to him, so I could do that to him. And they fighting him harder. So he's dealing with a lot of things, man. So it's just, it's just a lot, man. You got to be a great, great fighter to deal with all of that.
Do you think we'll see AJ versus Wilder? Because that's a fight I want to see.
I don't know. I have no idea. That's up to the billionaires who put up the money.
June 24th, Julian J-Rock Williams.
And the new.
By knockout.
That's all I got to say about that. Huh?
By knockout or by decision?
I don't want to predict that, but we come in to fight. As a trainer, man, all you could do is get your guy ready and they perform at their best or above their best. And I'm proud of myself to say that 99% of the fights that my guys is in, we show up to fight. Underdogs, don't matter. We come in to fight. And June 24th, it ain't going to be no different. We come in to fight. I'm going to leave it at that. Can't wait.
Do you think that J-Rock, because of the fact that he has more experience than Carlos Adames, do you think that experience is going to help him a lot?
No. Nope. I just think that he just got to just go back to his roots. And he's going to have to get down and dirty. And he's going to have to go to some dark, dark, dark places. I don't care about none of that. I'm not banking on none of that. Carlos Adames is hot right now. You guys said Julian's washed up. He's done. He's over with. You got to take all of that as fuel, and you got to fight his ass off. That's what he got to do. He got to be better than he ever been before. We're going to see. I don't really want to talk about it too much because I don't want to say too much. We're just going to see June 24th.
I can't wait. I can't wait for June 24th. I got a couple of questions here coming in, and it's from my brother here, Carlos. In regards to Plant versus Benavidez, do you think that Benavidez was too big or perhaps had too much strength for Plant?
There's no such thing as too big. I would say his stamina played the factor. His gas tank. But he made the weight, so how could I say he's too big? You know what I mean? So I can't say he's too big because he made the weight. But his stamina definitely played the factor. And he got a lot of determination, man. He don't stop coming.
Also, my brother wants to know, can we see Caleb Plant against Jermall Charlo, since Jermall Charlo was in attendance that night?
Maybe. Jermall Charlo is actually rooting for Caleb. He sat behind us, yeah. Maybe. Like I said, man, that's not up to me. I don't control that. So we all need each other to make sport. I mean, to make money in this sport. So I'm sure Caleb and Jermall, they have a conversation, talk with Al, talk to everybody, they can figure it out. But, it don't matter to me. Whoever I get the call for to train, that's what I'm going to do.
Breadman, As always, it was fun talking to you, and I look forward to June 24th. It's a fight.
In the new. Remember that. In the new.
Look out for my upcoming interview with Carlos Adames.
I'm not going to watch it. I don't watch stuff on the internet like that. I'm not going to watch it. I don't listen to what people say. That mess your mind up, man, when you be listening to everybody, listening to this person. It pull you off your square. I'm not watching it. I don't want to hear what you.
Do you study fights, though?
Yes. You said interviews and reading the comment section and all that stuff. I don't read that stuff. That stuff will mess your mind up. I don't read that. I don't even look at my own interviews and listen to what people have to say. Because sometimes the negativity, it seeps into your conscience. I respect Carlos Adames, but I don't want to listen to nothing he got to say. I'm ready to get Julian ready for the fight, and I'll see him on June 24th.
June 24th, showtime, baby.
And the new, remember that.
Thank you.
Thank you.